Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 11th, 2023. It is 11:32 at night. Okay, this is part 30, Prologue, Theodore Rex. It was nearly time for lunch. Roosevelt ordered places laid for himself, and the Secretary of War, and went to pay his respects to Mrs. McKinley. Ravaged, almost comatose with grief, she did not detain him long. By 1:30, he was back in his car and the congenial company of Elihu Root. He felt at home with conservatives. Whether or not the term applied to himself, he owed his political advancement to men of Root's type. Wealthy Republicans who belonged to the Union League Club read the North American Review and were coldly polite to butlers. More conservative rhetoric followed after lunch, as the other cabinet officers on the train came in one by one to see him. With the exception of Attorney General Philander, Chase Knox, a polished little man of 48, they were venerable figures. There was his old boss, Secretary of the Navy John Davis Long, portly and lumberly at 63. Secretary of Agriculture James Wilson was 66. Secretary of Interior Ethan Allen Hitchcock, 65. Postmaster General Charles Amory Smith, 59. Elihu Root was 56. The two absent secretaries, John Hay and Lyman Gage, were 62 and 65, respectively. McKinley had chosen carefully a more orthodox phalanx of Republicans would be difficult to assemble. To a man, these conservatives believed in the sanctity of property and the patrician responsibilities of wealth and power. Their eyes were honest, but hard. Knox, again, the exception, with his veiled, astigmatic stare. They were accustomed to luxury travel on commentary railroad passes and a myriad of other corporate privileges. They were prepared, in return, to give trust lords such as J.P. Morgan their favorable support in dispute between capital and labor, or local and interstate commerce. They tactically acknowledged that Wall Street, rather than the White House, had executive control of the economy, with legislative corporation of Congress and the judicial backing of the Supreme Court. This conservative alliance, forged after the Civil War, was intended to last well into the new century, if not forever. Senator Hanna was determined to protect it. Let well enough alone. Roosevelt was too restless and too reform-minded to heed such a motto. On the other hand, to use his favorite phrase, he despised the theorists who advocated radical change. Not for him, Eugene Debs' vision of a society purged of aggression, with all citizens pooling their assets in a state of torpid bonhomie. He tended toward a biological view of the common man as a brute, albeit capable, with encouragement, of self-refinement. Years of sweaty acquaintance with cowboys, policemen, and soldiers had convinced him that their instincts were benign. The greater social efficiency was as much their desire as his. All they needed was enlightened leadership. Okay. That's all for part 30. Prologue, Theodore Rex. Thank you for watching.